Hello and welcome to Lessons in Attachment. Today, we're going to talk about how to step into the version of yourself that you truly desire to be, the version of yourself that you dream of being in 2025. So, this is something that feels important to you, is something you're focused on right now, and there's a real determination for you. I mean, hence why you're here. I want to say that living with an anxious attachment, with anxiety, it can be really difficult. And as you move forward on this journey, this is hugely about how best to manage your anxiety as you heal, as you become less triggered over time. We have to manage it at the same time, kind of in the meantime. Whether your focus right now is on relationships, which I know for many of you it is, whether that's dating or, improving the current relationship you're in, your career, or simply feeling more at peace, more content, repairing that relationship within yourself, I hope that this episode can help you to get there. We're going to look at the hurdles we face. We're going to talk about connecting with how you feel and using that to get to where you want to be over the next year, connecting with your wisest future self. And I'll give you a tip as well. In fact, I'll give you a couple of tips that I think can be really powerful when we want to truly create change in our lives. When we've hit that point where it's like, okay, something has to change. I also just want to take a moment to say if you have been listening to this podcast, then welcome back. If you're brand new here, welcome. And it's amazing to have you here as part of our community. I'm going to do a little introduction to myself because I feel like it's been a little while since I've done that, or a few episodes since I've done that. So I'm Carly Ann. I basically help people who feel stuck in painful relationship patterns. Whether you're overthinking, feeling anxious, struggling with trust, I want to help you find a way out and feel more secure and confident within yourself and then how you connect with other people. My approach, so including what I bring to this podcast, it combines practical tools to challenge negative thoughts, gentle techniques to understand and release the tension you carry from past relationships, and ways to build a kinder, more supportive relationship with yourself. My aim is that together we work through the impact of these past experiences so that you can stop feeling so overwhelmed and start feeling calm, clear, and ready to build healthier, more balanced relationships. Relationships that I truly believe that you always deserved. Those of us with anxious attachment, we have had, you know, very particular experiences when it comes to relationship, when it comes to love. And I just believe we deserve to have that shot in our lifetime at healthy love, at how to trust, at how to feel good within ourselves, with how to feel happy. And that's part of my mission here. Okay, let's move on with this episode. When you do relate to feeling anxious within your relationships, it's really easy to let fears, automatic patterns, and self doubt run your life. Fear can dictate so much of your life. It can dictate how you show up in your day to day. And I'm talking about things like fear of rejection, fear of abandonment, fear of not being good enough, fear of being hurt. They can make it so hard to put yourself out there, to take risks. They can make it so hard to believe also in the possibility that change is possible because you get so taken over by these fears. It's almost impossible to see ahead. And that will show up in things like replaying past mistakes, being afraid of that happening again, almost trying to fix the past as well, overthinking every single decision, convincing yourself that you're not ready for change, seeing things going wrong in your mind. These patterns are so overwhelming. They don't define you. They are They don't have to be your future, not at all. They're habits that you've developed probably to keep you safe. And I guess the key to moving forward is to recognizing them. We always need to have that awareness of, well, what are the fears that are holding me back? So if I know that I want change and I'm struggling with that, it's almost certain that there are some kind of fears getting in your way. So standing between where you are now and where you want to be, deciding that they are no longer going to be in the driver's seat, deciding that you're going to put one foot in front of the other, even though you have these fears, is really important. So I encourage you in this moment, and this is something you could journal on, this is something you could meditate on, is to take some time to really get clear on what fears are preventing me from either taking a step, taking a leap to take a risk, to do something that I know would be useful for me, or what fears are stopping me from even dreaming big. Get really clear on that. And when you know, that's going to help you to be able to face it. It might even shrink that fear a little bit. What I want you to do now is using your imagination a little bit is such a powerful tool. I want you to take a moment to think about how you want to feel in 2025. So stepping away from the exact goals and considering how is it that I want to feel over the next year. So do you want to feel more secure, more grounded, more confident? How do you see yourself feeling? Maybe you want to wake up each morning feeling calm, capable, trusting. How do you want to feel? And it might be that you want to feel these ways in your relationships, when you make decisions, when you step into the office. Connecting with that vision is so important because it gives you something to aim for. And I think it's really important that we take that spin of actually thinking about how do I want to feel in 2025? Because then, as we go about our year, as we go about each day, we can just connect with, well, is this supporting the way that I want to feel? These things that I'm doing, these people that I'm connecting with, how I'm spending my time, is this supporting me to feel the way I want to feel? It's not just about achieving specific goals. It's about becoming the version of yourself who feels content, happy, at peace. And I truly recommend, if you want to feel more secure, which I know most of you do, that you commit to practices that help you become more regulated. These might include things like mindfulness, journaling, movement, breath work, stillness, all designed to help you calm your nervous system and build resilience over time. If you're an overthinker, if you can't sit still, if you experience impatience and frustration around that, you can still do these things. You can practice mindfulness whilst you're walking down the street. Inside the attachment recovery gym, we literally have a meditation there that you can listen to on a walk. So it's not about just sitting still and not moving for 20 minutes, because I know that that can be really difficult for many of you listening. One of the most powerful ways to set yourself up for the next year is to connect with your wisest and future self. So picture yourself at 90 years old, reflecting on the choices that you made this year, reflecting on the choices that you made in, the end of 2024 and 2025, and the legacy that you're building. Imagine yourself 90 years old, looking back at the year of 2025. What do you see? How do you feel about the choices that you made? Are you proud of how you showed up for yourself, the people in your life? Really take a moment to picture that version of you, and you can connect again. As you're looking back, how do you want to say that you felt? What advice would this wise older version give you now? What would they encourage you to stop worrying about? I remember when I was about 25, I truly remember, I might have been younger, being in the gym. I was on I don't know, some cross CrossFit machine. I have no idea, guys. But I really remember I was just worrying about how I looked and my weight, and I'm not losing weight, all of these things. And I remember in this moment just being like, wow, if I have these worries for the rest of my life, I am going to spend, because I was thinking about it so much, like all the time. I just thought, I'm going to spend all of my life just worrying and I'm never going to live. And that's a real changing point for me. When you connect with this wisest, older version of yourself, what risks or changes would they want you to take this year? A way to, use that information, connect with what your wiser future self says to you and wants for you. And with that information, consider yourself a year from now. Break it down. When you're looking back at 2025, 1 year from now, the future wiser you 1 year from now, what do you want to be different? What does this version of you look like? In order to become that wiser 90-year-old, what does 1 year from now you need to be doing? You might want to get specific with this one. Maybe it's hoping to land a new job, start a hobby that lights you up, whatever it is, get specific, write it down. And then we want to break that down even more. Ask yourself, what is one small step that you can take this week to move closer to that vision? This isn't all going to happen at once. It's about the tiny, teeny, tiny, consistent actions that you're going to take each day. And you don't have to be perfect every day. It's can we show up most of the time in a way that's going to support us to move towards how we want to feel, who we want to be. I said I would give you a couple of tips here, and trust me when I say I could give about 10. If I really thought, okay, I'm going to leave you with two parting bits of information to support you on, just creating this vision for 2025, what would they be? What's two bits? And I think the first has to be, I've already touched on it, but starting small. I really do believe in my heart of hearts that the secret to lasting change is to start small. If your goal is to feel more connected in your relationships, maybe start by reaching out to someone, to maybe start by connecting with someone you're already connected to. Send a text to a friend, practice active listening with your partner. If your goal is to feel more at peace, maybe start with 5 minutes, 1 minute of journaling, a short walk in nature, something that's easy for you, something that's small. And the next tip might not come as a surprise considering how much I advocate for this, but it is around connecting with the people who get you. Connect with your people. Healing and change, they're so much easier when you're surrounded with support, when you feel seen, when you're understood, and there is that compassion around you. And that can include a friend, it can include someone you trust. I've created a community to support people because I know with anxious attachment, it can feel lonely. When relationships feel as hard as they do for us, it can be really lonely. And so to be in a community where other people completely get it, I think that's really powerful. Having a space where you can share your journey, learn from others is invaluable. And that's one of the reasons why I do want to bring in, or I am bringing in, different experts into the attachment recovery gym so that you can learn from different people. Speaking of the attachment recovery gym, I do still have a December deal for you. Of course, it depends on when you're listening to this. For just £199, you can get access to an entire year's worth of tools, resources, and support to help you, especially if you're in your healing era right now. But this deal is only available for a few more days. So if you're ready to take that next step, now's the time. Listen, whatever your next steps, let's make 2025 our year. I really want to go big. I can't wait to share this journey with you. I want to expand my vision for myself. I definitely want to reconnect with the things that light me up. I want to connect more with nature again. I've got specific images. And also, I do want to connect again with like learning. I feel like I've been out of it for a little while. And I'm ready to, yeah, hear from others, learn more, and also have a bit more fun. I think sometimes that's something we can really forget, isn't it? Whether we're breaking free from old patterns, whether we are working on specific goals, let's remember that it is important to bring in joy, create a life that feels good and that you're proud of. And remember, you don't have to do it alone. So let's do this together. Connect with your wisest self, start small, practice presence, and surround yourself with people who lift you up. Thank you for being here. It's an absolute honor to have spent another year with you. And yeah, I look forward to continuing to create, continuing to support many of you, and being back here. It's one of my favorite places to be, is this podcast. And I'll certainly be showing up throughout the whole of 2025.